There were two good times to plant a tree, 50 years ago and today. Water quality is kind of the same thing. You know, we missed the boat on some of the stuff 20 years ago, but we have the possibility today of setting the boat straight. I'm Larry Lemke and farm about 100 acres here south of Berthoud, Colorado. Been on this property for about 50 years, and we're located on the Little Thompson River. The water quality has always been an issue. It's not like every farm you can just go push the button and the well brings you this nice clear water. Most of the water that we have as return flows, it ends up back into the Platte River. With that return flow, you brought a lot of silt, a lot of sediment, weed seed, and that kind of thing. We don't have an abundant amount of water, and so I like to try and get it as purified as I can because I want to try and meet the standards that are in the river so that somebody else might have that opportunity. Just learned over time how to try and treat that water to be most efficient, like if you were to put it into a gated pipe or where you have to use a dirt ditch to accumulate and settle the water out. We've transitioned to more minimum till, try and keep more of the residue in the soil, trying to improve the organic matter. We're looking at obviously not using as much fuel, labor, tractors. The economic return, that's one of the corners that we try and cut to keep our field trips down as much as possible. Being on the river where I'm located, it's been a process to learn how to not erode the banks, but yet put it into a location where that quality isn't compromised when it goes back into the river. Filter strip is one of the means of doing that. You get certain areas along the river that's either too steep or too sandy, so it's easy to get some grass established on it, and then you run that water over the top of it and filter the sediment, the debris. Also, you're putting that water into the water table and trying to utilize that ground as best as you can. When CSU came to me to do the filter strip, this was the first location within the state of Colorado that was actually collecting data on water quality, and we're getting the data now that we can present. Several of the meetings that we've had talking about filter strips and BMPs to that regard, a lot of the growers are like, I've been doing that for years. It's just that it hasn't been monitored, the data hasn't been collected. We're trying to set policy for agriculture with what data is immediately available. Every household's different, so every farm is going to be different. Other farming practices, other locations, other soil types, that kind of thing, all those variables, they have an impact, and we need to learn about that. What we're doing now, is that going to be good enough for what is in the future?